Hello everyone, and welcome back to channel where we share knowledge for comprehensive self-development through books. There's a saying that goes, a happy life is a chain of right choices every day. Our brains are constantly making decisions, or preparing to choose a decision, from small things in daily life like choosing to stay up late or wake up early, to eat fast food or healthy food, to read a book or play a game, and then to bigger decisions, like what we should do, how we should live, and who we should become. However, there are many times in life when we know clearly what we should do, and have even made a commitment to change, but in the end, we still choose things that make us regret it. We know that we want to lose weight, but still can't resist a hot pot full of our favorite foods. We know we need to go to bed early, but still fail in front of the phone in our hand. We know that procrastination isn't good, but still hesitate, only to rush to complete work on the last day. Day after day, you keep getting carried away, losing yourself in these wrong decisions. So, what force is controlling your actions? Why is our willpower so weak? Maybe you think that it's because you don't have enough discipline, self-control, or reason. But these reasons only remain on the surface. You want discipline, success, and a fulfilling life, then you can't start by forcing yourself to be rational, or by having a strong rationality at the center of all of your daily decisions and throughout your entire life. Happiness is simply a choice, it's the ability to choose. The book that Better Version would like to share with you today is called The Happiness Hypothesis by author Jonathan Haidt, a famous psychologist, a great thinker, and someone who proposed positive psychology. He will tell you that the root cause of your weak will, and why, when faced with a choice, you always lack the capacity to become happy, is that you have not understood that inside you, two psychological systems are operating at the same time. They are the giant elephant and the small elephant rider. This book is a combination of knowledge from many fields such as psychology, philosophy, sociology, religion, ethics, and anthropology. At the same time, it uses research results from modern neuroscience and social psychology to test ancient hypotheses about happiness. It has been highly recommended by other famous psychologists such as Martin Seligman, Barry Schwartz, and Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, the author of Flow, a book I really love and have previously introduced, along with many newspapers like People and The Times. The Elephant and the Rider is not just a book about happiness, psychology, and personal development. It is also a story about your mind and spirit. Understanding it will help you know how to go in the right direction, towards a truly happy life. Now, let's listen to today's shared content. We are just the elephant riders, not the rulers, because our psychological elephant works in a certain way. The Buddha has a verse like this: before, this mind ran wild after desire, now I will avoid and control it, like holding a hook to control an elephant from the beginning. The Buddha compared the human mind to a wild elephant that is free to satisfy its desires, but humans can still become the elephant riders, holding the reins in their hands, controlling the huge elephant, even when it is angry, hot-tempered, and full of obsession. We can still control it. In this respect, our soul and instincts are like a wild elephant, while our reason is the elephant rider. This is the same analogy that the author used throughout his book and in his 10 years of teaching and research. In recent years, the field of social science has always asserted that human beings are rational individuals who have the ability to use available resources to set goals and achieve those goals. However, reality is not always like that. Take myself as an example. Sometimes I plan to wake up early, so that I can write my video script by 6 a.m., but when I hear the alarm, I still turn it off to sleep some more. The author tells us that in fact, greed, selfishness, fear, and the love of comfort often triumph over our reason. Unless the elephant has no will of its own, we will be able to control and win. But if, once the elephant wants to do something, we often cannot control it. So, if we try to follow the trend of social science, that we must definitely train discipline and ignore the understanding of the heart, instinct, and the elephant in our nature, then it will be very difficult for you to achieve the unity between your mind and spirit and have the life you want. Because human reason actually operates based on emotions, only when the brain is filled with emotion does reason become effective. In addition, according to research, human psychology is a very complex process. It can be divided into 4 parts: mind and body, left brain and right brain, feelings and rationality, and control and automation, and they are all operating and clashing with each other. This is also why you are fragmented. The first fragmentation is that our body and mind often conflict. A French philosopher pointed out that every part of our body has its own emotions and opinions. That is why sometimes your thinking mind cannot control your body's responses. The second division is the lack of cooperation between the left and right brains. The left brain is the elephant rider, while the right brain is the elephant, but the left brain also often deceives the right brain. The language processing center of the left brain is very good at creating reasons, including those that are unreasonable. The elephant rider, even if they don't understand the reason, can still give orders to the elephant naturally. Finally, most importantly, the division is also shown in the control and automated system. The automated system is the elephant. It governs instinctive responses, emotions, and intuition. However, the elephant is often controlled by its desires and temptations. It holds the key to dopamine activation, the happiness hormone that makes you do things that excite you. But, in reality, the more attractive something is, the more harmful it is. That's why the elephant in you likes to do what it wants, surfing the phone for hours, excessively using caffeine, cigarettes, sex, or sweets. These things stimulate a lot of dopamine, but easily cause you to overdo it and then fill you with emptiness. At this time, the control system, the elephant rider, will operate. The elephant rider represents broad thinking, far-sighted vision, and long-term planning. However, the problem here is that the elephant rider can only play the role of an advisor, giving advice to the elephant, but it cannot completely control the elephant's actions. In short, we are the elephant riders but not their rulers. You and I are not kings, we can only be advisors to the elephant's actions. So, how will we advise it? In the next part, there will be 7 doors for you to open, so that you can recognize and understand the big elephant within you. This will help you learn how to harmonize with the elephant, and become the rider who leads it down the right path toward true happiness. Understanding and harmonizing with the elephant in you. The first door, the elephant acts based on its liking scale. There is an experiment like this. A monkey tries a fruit that it has never tasted before. If the fruit is sweet, the monkey will feel happy, take a big bite, and its liking scale will read, "I like it." Conversely, if the fruit is bitter, it will feel unhappy and never bite it again. The elephant within us always has a liking scale, and most of our actions are determined based on this scale. In psychology, this is also called the emotional trigger effect. When the elephant sees words like hope, joy, and entertainment, the elephant will read them very quickly and feel happy. But when the elephant sees words like death, loss, or boredom, the elephant will immediately have negative reactions. At this point, the elephant rider might say, "Isn't this normal? Everyone has things they like and dislike." That is true. But let's think about it a little more deeply with questions like, what job do you like? Where do you want to live? What kind of partner do you want to find? What kind of life do you want to live? Before such important questions related to fate, can the elephant rider easily say, "Let the elephant decide based on its instincts"? Of course not. But you need to be aware that the elephant and elephant rider of the 21st century are living in an environment of extremely vast and chaotic information. It is very difficult to know what you actually need. At this point, like or dislike is the main way that the elephant chooses and judges content. If the elephant rider doesn't focus on observing and pay attention, they can get lost in the illusions created. Because for the elephant, everything around it can easily be something that you like. Gradually, the elephant rider will lose the rationality that they should possess. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "The entire universe is always changing. Life is how you think it is. Life truly is what we think." However, in reality, our thoughts often form quickly and unconsciously. Be cautious when that elephant inside you shouts, "Only buy the brands I like, only watch the content that I like, only interact with people I like, only live in the house that I like." So take a good look at yourself, look back at what you like and dislike, and see what is an illusion and what is a true liking. Next is door number 2, negative preferences based on the principle of species design. In the animal world, an animal's reaction to bad things is stronger than its reaction to good things. This is also true with the elephant in you. We tend to be more sensitive to bad things. People will pay more attention to negative information and events and react to them faster, stronger, and longer than positive things. For example, when hearing good news, the elephant may only react for a short time, but when hearing bad news, the elephant will have lasting fear and cannot calm down for a while. Negative preferences are extremely dangerous, because when the elephant focuses too much on negative information, creating negative reactions, if you do not receive comfort or stable encouragement, you will become unusually miserable. Like Benjamin Franklin's saying, we can clearly feel a little pain, but when we are healthy, we can't feel anything at all. Next, we will open the third door, self-righteousness. Here, the elephant says, "What I see is right, others should feel the same as me." The elephant rider immediately replies, "Exactly, I can only believe what I see." The elephant continues, "I like reading about scandals in the entertainment industry." The elephant rider also agrees, and says, "Reading gossip once in a while is not a bad thing." The elephant affirms, "I can judge others and myself objectively." The elephant rider replies, "Of course, as long as I want to do that." I wonder if, while hearing this conversation, you felt that something was wrong. In essence, this is a sign of self-righteousness in both the elephant and the rider. There are many self-righteous thoughts, such as, people like to read gossip because it allows them to easily judge others based on their own values and feel morally superior. This is moral superiority thinking, or thinking with naive realism, strongly believing that, the world I see and feel is the most realistic, others should agree with this view. People like that think they are unbiased, but in fact, they don't know that this personal perspective belongs to a selfish bias, or a form of unconscious narcissism, easily seeing the small flaws of others, but with themselves, it's the opposite. You do not look for the cause within yourself and ignore your own shortcomings. Like in the Gospel of Matthew, it states that we can see the small mote in another's eye, but close our eyes to the big beam in our own eye. The psychologist David Dunning once conducted an experiment where he found that people always overestimate their own good actions, while objectively evaluating the behavior of others. When evaluating others, we base our opinions on reality, but when evaluating ourselves, we do the opposite. We often unconsciously associate ourselves with beautiful advantages, then seek advantages for ourselves, and think I am so good, after which, we fall into a state of self-satisfaction and narcissism. The same thing happens when we make mistakes. We will try our best to become lawyers, finding every reason to defend ourselves as strongly as possible. And you must know that these instinctive behaviors can cause you trouble in cooperating with other people, because you will always think that you are better than them, and feel like you deserve more. So at this moment, please ask the elephant rider within you, what kind of person do you want to become? Both the elephant and the elephant rider need to reconsider themselves based on the following 3 principles. First, everyone is equal. Second, the world is built from my understanding, but that is not necessarily the truth. And third, you need to open your heart to understand more about yourself. Next, at the important 4th door, we will see that the elephant has an instinctive reaction, always occurring naturally, which is, give and take to be satisfied. When someone is good to us, and brings us benefits, we want to reciprocate, return the favor, and also bring benefits to them. But on the other hand, a facet of this instinct that leads to cruelty, is an eye for an eye, a life for a life, etc. In each of our elephant souls, we have a strong moral emotion, called fairness and integrity. That's why when we watch movies, we will always hope that the evil will be punished and the kind will be rewarded. From a psychology perspective, give and take comes from our natural tendency to imitate. When we are close to someone we like, we will unconsciously imitate the way they talk, walk, and even their thoughts. We also like people who mimic us and treat these people better because imitating is to show that we are part of the same group. This herd mentality is ingrained in our genes. When we know this give and take instinct in the elephant, we need to see ourselves more clearly in our relationships, not letting hatred or bias lead to a wrong action. We can also use the give and take instinct as a balance in our relationships with friends and loved ones. It is important to note that this balance always needs to be balanced and measured. Giving too much or too little from the beginning can also be a factor that destroys any relationship. Giving gifts to each other correctly and helping each other sincerely can greatly enhance a relationship. And remember the teachings from thousands of years ago by Confucius. It is always a basic principle that can be a guiding light for us throughout our lives. Don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. Door number 5, greed and consumption to show off. You will see clearly the greed that is always in your elephant. Let's go back to the elephant's liking scale for different objects. It always marks like with a good feeling or dislike, disgust. Then bring this result and inform the elephant rider. The elephant rider is very willing to find something that the elephant likes to satisfy it. This process is repeated daily, to the point that the elephant rider forms a specific tendency. If the elephant wants it, the elephant rider will provide it. When unable to satisfy the elephant rider will also begin to get annoyed, because they cannot satisfy the elephant. So Grace once said, "In this world it is so strange, there are too many things I do not need." The obsession with material things often makes the elephant rider become a prisoner of them. We need to know that like and dislike sometimes are not important. What you need to pay attention to is, do I really need it? From the greed in the elephant, both the elephant rider and the elephant begin to consume to show off, that is to consume products just so that others can see them and use them as symbols of their personal status and prestige. The value of that item does not come from the objective value of the asset, but from the judgment of those around them. If the elephant rider grows up in an environment of comparison, where people praise wealth and intelligence and look down on poverty and low education, then the elephant rider will find it hard to avoid being affected by this environment, and always want to appear more noble and superior in everything. The elephant also gets used to consuming in order to show off, just to increase its reputation. But the irony is that trying to appear something and actually becoming it are two completely different concepts. Consuming to show off only makes the elephant rider appear to live for the outside and not truly become something, and I have already analyzed and shared about how we enslave ourselves with consumption in the video about New Poor and the Psychology of Money, which you can watch for more information. Here, in short, is that when we know about this psychology of the elephant and the elephant rider, we should not avoid consumption but pay attention to the purpose of spending money. Consume, but not to show off, meaning consume something based on the value of the product and not to show off personal status, or put on a show for yourself. Then, we will go on to door number 6, to see the excessively high self-esteem in each elephant. Elephants are very sensitive and protect their self-esteem. Elephants do not care whether they hurt other people or not. At this time, the elephant pushes the elephant rider to express their emotions in its own way. Conversely, low self-esteem leads to a lack of confidence, and the elephant often finds fault with itself and criticizes itself when it encounters difficulties. The first reaction is often not to overcome, but to retreat or stand still. The book suggests that we should increase reasonable self-esteem by learning a skill that you are capable of performing and that makes you feel more proud. Finally, the 7th door for reflection is the paradox of choice. As I said from the beginning, happiness is choice, but choice always has its own paradox. Having too many choices often makes us no happier. Many people still think, I must earn a lot of money and have a lot of power, so that I can have more choices and take control. People always overestimate the importance of having more choices. You try to get into this field so that you will have more career options after graduating. Or that, you need to work for a good company, to have the opportunity to find a good partner in the future. Advice like this is something we have all heard before. You need to know that happiness is a choice and is also a type of capability. The ability here is the ability to choose correctly and appropriately. Having many choices is not always a good thing. A hesitant person will always hesitate, and a person who tries to weigh all the benefits will have difficulty doing so. The most important thing on the path that the elephant is walking is not to help it face many options or have many choices, but to ensure that the elephant can move forward. The most important thing is not to focus on the available options, but to act to choose. And we've gone through 7 doors to better understand the elephant in you. In the final part, let's learn how to become an elephant rider. How to not blindly follow instincts, but still be able to walk the right path, starting from your heart, and moving towards happiness. I have summarized 2 important steps from the book. The first step, cooperate with the elephant. As we have discussed before, The most important thing is that we need to recognize the relationship between the elephant and the elephant rider. We must admit that no one is perfect. Both the elephant and the elephant rider have some weaknesses. Accept these weaknesses as part of your whole self. This means accepting yourself and honestly looking at your true self. The author also says that we are a combination of the elephant rider and the elephant. Wanting to control the elephant by will alone is not enough. You must find ways to cooperate with it, as our health and mental well-being depend on this cooperation. When facing our own weak will, we can also learn from the Buddha by avoiding sources of temptation, creating uncomfortable feelings, or by not looking at, listening to, or thinking about things that trigger our desires. From the elephant's liking scale, we can find ways to overcome our weaknesses before human desires by gazing intently at rotting corpses. Similarly, we can look at the surplus of water in the hot pot store to avoid overeating when you want to lose weight. Simply aim for something that the automation system within you is hooked on. We can gradually change the desires of the elephant and control it better. You must remember that in the elephant, there is always a great power and motivation, but the only way to make these motivations work correctly is for the elephant rider to constantly review and look back at themselves. So, first of all, we need to review what is our mindset. Look at the automated thoughts and behaviors of yourself. For example, when you get home, do you lie down and surf on your phone for hours? Before going to sleep, do you watch movies or play games until late at night? Then, recognize the irrational beliefs in you. These are exaggerations, overthinking, personalization, and one-sided thinking in your daily life. Set yourself action goals, instead of psychological goals. About how to set goals, you can refer to my video number 47, Yearly Planning, that I previously shared. Next, step 2 is to use the happiness equation. Positive psychology offers a happiness equation. I will put it on the screen. In that equation, the letter H is the durability of true happiness, S is the range of satisfaction due to innate factors, C is living conditions, and V is the factors you can control yourself. You will see that in order to achieve lasting happiness, you need to combine all three factors: genetics, living conditions, and controllable factors. However, the first two factors are things that we cannot decide on. Living conditions are mainly money, gender, age, and place of residence, things that remain constant over a long time. Therefore, we can only adapt to them. The only thing we can change is the controllable factors. This is similar to Stoicism: change the things you can control, and accept those you cannot. The author has given us some useful advice on how to adjust external factors to increase happiness as follows. First, is noise. This is something that will cause suffering, and we can never adapt to it. Therefore, it's better to live in a quiet place. After that, we need to reduce travel time, reduce the amount of work, earn less money, and reduce the accumulation of wealth. In addition, we can learn more about new knowledge, try new things, and also spend more time with family, get more rest, and participate in activities that are beneficial for the body and soul. Next, practice meditation and enhance your experience of flow. Focus completely, forgetting about time and what you are doing in the present. Finally, the relationships between people are important factors that affect our happiness. If you have a difficult friend or colleague, or you are living with an incompatible partner for a long time, it will be very difficult for you to achieve happiness, because we cannot adapt to conflicts between people. Therefore, take good care of your relationships, learn how to nurture love, affection, and friendship to make your life richer, rather than shutting yourself away in a shell of hurt. In addition, if you encounter mental difficulties, try to find methods for psychological recovery such as reflection, self-awareness, and seeking help. We can write down our emotions, the lessons learned from the experience, and the reasons behind daily events. This can help you find meaning in events and solve problems wisely. And so, these are the most essential points that Better Version has gathered from this famous psychology book. The elephant is a powerful resource within you. It is the untapped potential of your subconscious mind. As the person in control of the elephant, we don't need to be too strict with the elephant's natural behavior. Be friends with the elephant, so that we can say to our elephant, "Hello, my elephant. I understand your existence. Now, let's discuss our future together." I hope both you and I, the elephant riders, before all temptations and desires, and before all the weaknesses of our instincts, can accept, welcome, and harmonize with the elephant within us. So that, in the end, you will become a united, bright force, moving forward to where true happiness always is. Thank you for listening. If you found this video useful, please share it with those who need it, give me a like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell to watch my newest videos every week. Once again, thank you, and I will see you again in the next videos.